Well, if anything, it appears the calls to restructure Nigeria won't go away anytime soon. But the phrasing of how to go about it seems to be causing most of the arguments. For former governor of Abia State, Ojius Okalo, what needs to be done is to seek the understanding and support of every segment of the country towards restructuring the country. Okalo says this will help resolve the challenges facing the nation. Public affairs analyst Alpha Jacken joins us now from Abuja to talk more about this. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on the News Hour. Well, do you agree with former Governor Ojius Okalo that what needs to be done is to seek the understanding and, of course, the support of every segment of Nigeria in the restructuring call?
Well, I beg to differ with him. It's not a function of the different sectors of this country. It's the elite and the masses of this country. The elite are the problem. The average Nigerian is living and doing his business. He's going about his life in different parts of this country peacefully. So when the elite tries to come up with issues that they know the downtrodden quite don't understand, probably by way of digressing our people from the issues of the day. As far as I'm concerned, the elite is the problem. It has nothing to do with seeking the understanding of every other person. Nigerians are peaceful. If you go to every nook and cranny of this country, you will find an Igbo man, you will find a Yoruba man, you will find a Hausa man living and doing his business peacefully. So what we need to do is the elite should know that when we have this kind of agitations are a part of human nature. There is hardly any part of the world you go to that you don't get one form of agitation or the other. But I think what we are beginning to see now is that the masses of this country are tired. We want to see strong institutions. We want to see that this country is the better for it. And how can we attain that? It's when we have equitable distribution of wealth. When we talk about restructuring, the tragedy in this whole thing is that nobody has been able to come out with a firm definition of what they call restructuring.
All right, Alpha, let me cut in here. Alpha, I'm glad you mentioned the word. The crux of the matter really has to do with resource control and the cry for marginalization of some sort. Each group is crying to have been marginalized, to have been forgotten over one issue or the other. So really, the question here is, how do we share the resources in Nigeria equitably so that the pockets of violence, the pockets of agitations that we have are quelled?
Well, I must add, agitations will always be a part of human nature. It's not going to be different. But for us to solve the current problem that we are being faced with today, I want to see youth inclusion in politics. I want to see women inclusion in politics. As I did mention earlier, I want to see strong institutions in Nigeria and not strong men. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want to see that states in Nigeria are given more powers to respond to the resources that is within their locality. I am not one for secession. I am also not one for not too strong a center. I want to see a strong center because of our heterogeneity. But the truth remains, I want to see that resources that come from different parts of the federating units as we have it today, let's call them states. I will want to see states have more powers over what can be gotten from their areas so that development will be there and people can always ask their leaders directly instead of everybody running to Abuja at the end of every month to come and collect oil money. I think as a country we should move beyond that.
All right, now at the very base, at the very bottom of the quest to restructure Nigeria is the devolution of power. But more recently, you and I know this suffered setback at the National Assembly. That's a clear message that it's not going to happen anytime soon, isn't it?
Well, they have said come September they are going to revisit it. But let me also tell you what the problem is. Where we had that problem was because there were too many things that were collapsed into one. Talking about transportation, let us look at issues on their merit. Let us look at issues that we think are on the exclusive list that should come down to the concurrent and probably the residual. If we try to look at those issues from those precincts, I assure you that issues that border on devolution of powers will soon be a thing of the past. I think the mistake was there were too many subheads under one heading. And at the end of the day, those that were charged with the responsibility of probably looking at issues clause by clause did not do a very good job. But as they did promise, come September, they will revisit some of these issues